Hello YouTube, hopefully everyone's doing well. Thank you all for reposting the content, engaging with it, just viewing it in general means a lot to me. I've had a blast with learning how to edit, doing all the MS Paint drawings, just even playing on MTGO, just playing Magic in general, and playing the deck that I love. So thank you all for all of that. Today we're just going to hop into a Vintage League with the same 75 from the previous video and see how it goes. Still no dress down. I still don't think it's needed. We're still just running the original creature sweep, and we'll see how it goes. Can't wait to see you all there. Okay, welcome to round number 1. We are on the draw, and we have a turn 1 win. So we're going to keep this. And he has shown us a Lurrus the Dream. Okay, so let's let him do his worst. Okay. Nothing, and what do we want? Pact negation, double counter backup is sweet. We did not get a pact negation, but I'm gonna lead with this and cast this. He does nothing. Okay. Well, let's crack this for blue. Let's cast a Thassa's Oracle. Let's tap this for black. Let's cast a Mana Consultation. Maybe we could have Dark Ritualed into a Okay, cool. Let's begin sideboarding. We could have Dark Ritualed there to potentially play it around a Spell Pierce, but he may have just countered the Dark Ritual. Okay, so what do we want? I'm down for Sheoldred, some Fatal Pushes, Oppo Agent, stuff like this. We have the Sideboard Guide, we have the technology, so we're looking for Lurrus. So what did I do? I did 2 Fatal Pushes, Sheoldred, Pithing Needle, Surgical Op. These are a little bit different, so we would lose Mystical, Street Wraith, Preordained Force, Pact, and Necro. Okay. So, Preordained times 2, Street Wraith, a Force Negation, a Necro, and then there should be a Pact Negation somewhere in this set. That's 5, so we're missing another card. What could that card be? The Mystical Tutor. Yeah, top deck tutors aren't always the best, so removing those are perfectly fine. So we'll do these 7 for these 7. And we will submit the deck. Okay, perfect. Sometimes you just have it. Very strong hand. I'll keep this. Mana Crypt. Okay, so maybe they're like Saga, Vault. Are they gonna... What are they doing for 3? For a lot. Alarian Revealed? It's gonna hardcast Alarian Revealed, maybe? Interesting, interesting. Okay, well. We'll draw for turn. Nothing in my upkeep, it looks like. There's a Doomsday, so it's getting quite strong. Let's get an Underground Sea. I'm going to duress my opponent. Yep. Let's see what you got. Are they just going to hardcast Force? Paradoxical outcome. Okay, so they are the Lurrus PO deck. That's fine. And then they're going to Flusterstorm. That's also fine. So I know in their hand is a what's in their hand? They've got Vault and they've got Crypt. Okay. 7 cards. They drew an Emerald. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Vamp in my upkeep for a Gush and threaten to kill them the next turn. Be like, hey, you had to have drawn a counter spell if you want to play. So we'll see. Yep. You're going to play the Crypt. Yep. Vault. Do you have another PO? We're going to put back in double Force and Negation, probably. And, yep. Turn my upkeep. Let's Vamp. Let's grab this Gush. I'm just going to try to kill them. They're showing that they either have a PO or maybe a Loring revealed with that much mana. But do you have another PO? Do you have a hardcast Force? That's fine. I don't know why they tapped everything. Oh, you have it all right there. So we'll probably draw for turn into a Demonic Consultation for a Doomsday, hopefully. Anything else? With all your mana on the pool? Another PO. Okay, well. Strong hand, strong hand. So I don't have anything in my Sideboard guide for PO, but I do have it for like other combo-based decks. If this is Justin's Lurrus PO deck, I'm pretty sure that there's 4 dress downs that I need to be worried about. But now I'm just looking to overwhelm my opponent. But we can take it slower next game. Yep, okay. They have a Jet, that was one of their extra cards. Yep, Crypt. Yep. Yeah, you can see my hand. Yeah, they drew 3. We might not win this game, but we're gonna try. What are you gonna do with 3 mana? 3 mana, put Lurrus in hand, maybe? That's what I'm thinking. Might have like a dress down. Okay, come on. I don't see what's wrong with doing putting the Lurrus on hand here. I don't think it's just 3 colorless mana, and they don't have double blue for like the hardcast force. So I think it's totally justified to do it. But we shall see. What's the best draw off the top of our deck? Just another Doomsday? Doomsday isn't bad. Okay. Oh. Blue. Are they just going to PO? I think we can concede this game. Okay, let's begin sideboarding. We want our negations back in. And we probably want back in our Pact. Knowing what they are now, I'm okay with cutting these fatal pushes now. We do not need the fatal pushes. We can keep a dismember if we need to, but I think this is perfectly fine. To bring back in the counter magic, Seal Sabotage is also an option, but I'm down for this. Okay, let's go on the play. Let's hope for a strong hand. I'm guessing they're a 4 Fluster deck. But yeah, from my knowledge, there are 4 dress downs, so stuff like Pact when going off is probably really good, in case they try to cheese me. They should be casting dress down immediately, though. This hand does nothing. I'm gonna mull. This hand does something, and I'm going to keep. Let's keep. We'll keep and we'll bottom the Doomsday. I think if I just resolve this Sheoldred, we're fine. Keep. And then we'll bottom Doomsday. And say go. We've got a Flusterstorm for any early strong plays. But yeah, the PO deck is pretty strong. I'm pretty sure Sheoldred, though, they'll never be able to PO. Granted, for dress down, very scary. That is their way out of it. Yep, Crypt is fine. Yep. Perfectly fine. Okay. We're looking for another blue spell here. So I'm down to thin my deck for a Watery Grave. Would I like to pay for life? No. Okay. Sweet. Yep. Blue card, blue card. That's what we want. That's what we want. Well, actually, we don't have the mana for it, but let's try this Dark Ritual. Let's play this Sheoldred. Sure, you can draw 3 cards. That's fine. Now I don't have to worry about Flusterstorm. Sure, you can lure in Revealed. Okay, perfect. Does Sheoldred the Apocalypse resolve? Yep, okay. So they have 2 Underground Seas in their hand. Sheoldred's in. Let's start battling. Hopefully Sheoldred plus Crypt gets us. Yeah. Potentially 5 damage per turn clock. Yeah, you have that. And I think Justin's deck wins through like Bowmasters and Constructs. Yep, there's Saga. He can flash in a Bowmaster, and that's really it. Puts Lurrus in hand. Yep. Let's draw. Sheoldred. Yep, let's gain our 2 life. Let's play a land. Yep, attack. I guess that's how that works. Declare attackers. I declared attackers. Sorry, my combat skills are not the best. And that should be good. Okay. We've got double counterspell. They've got a Lurrus in hand. What are they going to flash in a dress down? Blue, blue, blue. Let's force a negation that. Sheoldred putting in some work. They've got a turn to try to win. Because they can make a decently sized construct, like a 3/3. There's a Lurrus. Does Lurrus have like Death Touch as lifelink? So what do we do here? If I let Lurrus resolve, is this going to start swinging at me? I think I'm just going to force pitch this. Yep. They have to make a construct. I swing. They could have a dress down. Yep, let's gain some life. I think we just go to combat and then we'll ponder. Yep, they're gonna make a 2/2 or a 3/3. I'm going to eat it. Yep, they'll declare blocks. Okay. Ponder. I think we'll do it like this. And then we'll put this and we'll draw this. No. And we'll pass the turn. Crypt plus Sheoldred damage, hopefully? Puts them to 1. Ah, they survived the Crypt flip. Okay. Yep. I'm hoping to fade like a dress down or something. We'll see. Yep, they're going to make a construct. In response to the search, because I don't want this thing getting big this turn. And then I'm going to dismember this. Okay, they can search. I don't know what they're going to search for. Like, maybe it was like a manifold key? I could just die to a Time Vault here, but that doesn't save them either because they have to survive their own crypt and Sheoldred draw every turn. So they have to like runner, dress down, kill me, or dress down, win. Good games, good games. Okay, I apologize for that. For round number 2, I forgot to hit the recording, so we're just gonna go through this. So game number 1, I'm on the play, and I end up mulling that hand. This seems like a good hand. We can do some kind of demonic consultation line early with force backup. And then we get to see what kind of deck they're on. Pretty much my whole goal is here. Just pray we hit land. They tapped out. No flusser. Draw mystical. Potentially that could go for Ancestral Recall. They don't present Lurrus, so no Lurrus race strategies here. So at this point, I'm just thinking that there's some kind of standard Tinker deck. My jig's up, and my whole goal here is like, hey, I just need a land. I have double force backup at this point. They're going to name Street Wraith, and then they're going to PO, and I'm like, okay, you're a paradoxical outcome, no Lurrus. So you can be running Hull Breachers. You've got a Fluster now. I fluster the Mystical Tutor. I don't want them to get something with their other 2 cards in hand that could just like outmuscle a force and just cause me to lose. I let that go. And that definitely has to be countered. And then we're gonna Demonic Consultation name Force of Will and counter that. Both of us all have 0 cards in hand, and they have a Crypt in play. And we're just hoping to fade some stuff for a while. There's a lot of dead draws in PO because of Mox Opal. So I'm just thinking like they'll either be drawing counterspells or Mox Opals. We draw Dig. Dig's pretty big, and it resolves. Take Doomsday, Lotus, and we just go for it. I'll stop it here to show the pile. Pile is Thassa's Oracle, Brainstorm, Pact, Misty, and then a land. So I think my idea is I untap, because we lost a bunch of cards to the Demonic Consultation. We lost our Time Walk, we lost our Gush to the Force of Will fight, we lost a Thassa's Oracle, and we lost an Ancestral Recall at some point. So my idea is I'm going to untap, I'm going to play land for turn, and pass. And I'm then going to have Hardcast, Force of Negation backup, and then just play a slow game of drawing with Thassa's Oracle and all of that. The other option, this option isn't that good. What we could do is Brainstorm. The Brainstorm makes things awkward because we have a fetch land as well, so now we're actually down to 3 cards, so we can't be able to use it. So that's just if I want to kill the exact next turn. I think we could have even taken this a little slower with like Consider or Street Race, but we did not. So they played a Saga. That's their win con. That will kill me very fast. So we go for Brainstorm. They fluster the Brainstorm. And I concede. I could fetch. If I can't fetch, because if I fetch, we don't have anything. So we can let that go. I could technically fetch and hope to draw Thassa's Oracle and not die. But what No, because they'll have lethal. They'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we just saw it. So let's go to the next game. And I think I'm able to view the sideboard here. So yeah, we cut 2 street wraiths, 2 preordains, and a mystical tutor. So we brought in Sheoldred the Apocalypse ×2. We brought in a Force of Negation. We brought in an opposition agent because they're a Tinker Urza Saga Lorien Reveal deck with fetch lands. So it just hits so much of opposition agent resolves. So, and I'm pretty sure. Oh, we brought in the Dismember because I didn't see Hull Breacher, but they're not a Lurrus deck, and I want to be able to deal with creatures in case of anything. This hand is pretty good. I like it. Fetch the Thin, Duress. So we took their Time Vault. If we look at the rest of their hand, at first I was thinking maybe we take the Lorien Revealed, which we don't. Their hand is PO and three different artifacts, and they need to hit another artifact to be able to turn on the Opal. So it's like, okay, we can't actually cut them off of blue because they could just hard cast this. And I don't want to just die randomly to the Time Vault plus Urza Saga. They draw Probe, and off their Probe, they draw the Pearl, which means now they can PO. They can PO safely, and we just have to hope that their PO just didn't really do anything. We go for Time Walk. They fluster accordingly. I think that was a good Fluster Storm. And then they're going to cycle a Lorien Revealed. So we kind of like know that their hand is pretty much just... We don't really know anything in their hand as of yet. They dig. I tried to Street Wraith in response. Nothing. They make a Construct. And I think next turn I'm just going to try to win. I'm hoping for like a Dark Ritual. But we drew Necro, and so I'm going to cast this Necro as a bait for a counterspell, and it resolves. And so we're just going to draw a bunch of cards. And now we have double counter back up for their turn to try to go off. Yeah, we're just going to try to counter everything that they have at us. So they made it triple black. That automatically, in my opinion, for a deck like this is going to be Yawgmoth's. They have 1 blue mana open. At this point, we're like, hey, we're just going to lose to a Flusterstorm. We just have to go off no matter what. So we Dark Ritual Doomsday Ponder is going to go into our pile. So let's see what pile we decide to come up with here. Well, I can go and see what our pile was. Our pile looked to be Ancestral Lotus, Thassa's Oracle, Pact, and Misdirection. I think I put a Misdirection in there to hide it. Because I'm like, either way, we just need to go off and try to win. I can hit draw a card. Yeah, we'll see what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a Misdirection. It will not show us. But we can figure it out here. It was a Misdirection, is what we decided to hide. Because I believed we were just going to win and go off. So then we are going to go to game number 3. Same sideboard strategy, it would seem. This hand is great. I'm just going to try to stick a Sheoldred Really don't need to be doing anything. Draw Ancestral. They go Mentor. I cycle a response, hoping to hit another blue card. I don't. I'm going to fight over this Mentor to see if they'll also fight over it. Now, here's the thing. I pitched the Fluster. Maybe I'm supposed to pitch the Recall, but I would rather try to draw 3 cards. And instead it baits out the Mental Misstep, so that's fine. So now they have a Mentor. And now I believe they're F6'd. And now I have a better threat in play. And now we're just looking to draw as many blue counter spells as possible. Here comes an interesting play. They Brainstorm, and I hardcast the Misstep. Maybe I'm supposed to pay 2 life, but they Fluster. I think that's fine in the end. Maybe I'm just not supposed to care at all and just let the Brainstorm resolve. That could just have been the correct actual play. But they're going to Brainstorm and have to put 2 back and be locked under their Brainstorm? And then we're just kind of going to take our time with this Sheoldred. We have Misdirection for a potential Swords. And they go to 1, and we're just going to pass the turn back immediately and let Sheoldred do her thing. Here we are for round number 3. I'm on the draw. Yeah, we'll keep this hand. This hand is strong. See what type of deck my opponent's on. We have a turn 1 win. So, let's do this. Saga. Some kind of maybe combo deck. Let's see. Pact Negation would be nice here. Another Doomsday is nice. Okay. See if this Doomsday resolves. Do you have a force? They do have a force. Okay. Let's preordain. Let's put this on the bottom of my library. And this we'll put on top and draw. End of turn we can consider on their turn. What did they end up getting rid of? A PO. So reverse another PO player. Okay. With kind of like a subpar start. Not as subpar. Okay. Now they can start making stuff. It gets us a turn to Doomsday faster. If I'd started off with a Misty, but we didn't start off with a Fetch because we were playing around a potential Wasteland deck. I'll put on top of my library. Okay. Let's see what we draw. No. Pass the turn. Next turn we can go for a Doomsday. Hopefully we draw a cantrip. They're going to make a construct. And then let's see what they do. Maybe they grab like a Manifold Key and Lotus kill me? Or they have the thing in hand, so we'll see. But we're going to take 5 here, no matter what. Oh, there's the key. Do you have the Time Vault? Mishra's Workshop. Okay, we are versus the the Coveted Jewel deck. Yep. Okay, please whiff. That is what I'm hoping. But I'm also hoping that we draw a cantrip here. We need to draw a cantrip or we die. Okay. Because that is an 8/8. Did they draw a PO? If they draw a PO, we concede. They draw a PO. They draw Phyrexian Metamorph. We're definitely just now conceding. Sadly, they know that we're on Doomsday. This is a very powerful deck. It did win Eternal Weekend with a bunch of copies in the top 8. Metamorph targeting Coveted Jewel. So he drew a card. There's 3 cards. He's looking to go a card deeper. So he's going to target the Coveted Jewel. So this is maybe fine. So he can look at another 3 cards. But if he keeps going... Lotus, that does nothing. Yep. No mana floating. We want a cantrip off the top for ourselves, and hopefully we win. We're going to take 10. Crunch. Okay. We have a turn. Did we draw a cantrip? We drew a cantrip. Okay. Do you have a counterspell? If you have the force, I can see the game. Oh. Yep, do you have the force? Six. A lot of mana. PO in response? Sure. Let's see if you hit a force. Okay. Yep, let's concede. We'll go next. Let's begin sideboarding. Okay, so we don't really want the Sheoldreds here because they'll just die. But versus Jewel Shops, it's 5 cards. It's a Seal Sabotages. I guess I was bringing the Sheoldreds. But I was cutting a fetch land. Preordain, Days on the draw. We can cut that. I'll keep Days in. I'll cut this Mystical Tutor. I will cut a fetch land. Let's get rid of the Delta. Cut a Street Wraith. I'll cut a Preordain. I'll consider. Man, bringing in Sheoldred just might not be the worst. That's 6 cards. Because beforehand I wasn't running 3 Steel Sabotages, but I do think 3 Steel Sabotages is very nice. Consider Preordain. Maybe we can cut Fluster. Fluster just feels really bad versus them. I'll cut a Fluster Storm because they just have so much mana that, like, it's like, cool. My Fluster does nothing. So we'll do this. And we'll be on the play. Yep. I like this hand. I'll keep. I think I'm just going to Time Walk. See if we draw a land for turn. We did not. We drew that. Just arrest my opponent. Let's see what's in their hand. Force, Tinker, Soul Ring. Ugh, this hand is gross. I don't really want to fight this hand at all. I think we just take the Soul Ring. I feel like that hurts them a lot. And then we'll just pass the turn. The bad thing is my blue stuff in my hand is my Thassa's Oracles. Yep, there's a Saga. Blue, black, Demonic Tutor. Let's see if I can bait out a force effect on this. Will they force? Okay, what are they forcing? One of the exile, the PO. Okay, that's fine. So we lost a force and a paradoxical outcome. Okay, we need to draw other blue spells besides these Thassa's Oracles. They are not going to win us the game. Okay, let's pass. Well, Sheoldred could win us the game. That is our secondary win con here, is just getting the Sheoldred into play. I'll make a mana. What are you going to get? Lotus isn't bad here. I mean, I'm going to just snap force whatever I have to, and then try to win with Sheoldreds. Crypt. Into Grim Monolith, that's fine. So I still know the majority of their hand. So for a Dark Ritual. Or some cantrips. No, but that will be for my Black Lotus to try to kill them next turn, or get my Sheoldred going. They need a land still to start doing stuff. That's fine, because once they tap these, they're now committed. We'll force. We'll pitch this Thassa's Oracle. They're going to force, probably pitching Tinker. No, they pitched the other PO. Okay, so force another PO. And then I'm going to force targeting this pitching Thassa's Oracle. I'm going to vamp. I'm going to get my Black Lotus. I'm going to play a Sheoldred. Pass the turn. They could take upwards to 4 damage. Upwards to 6 damage a turn now. I need to fade a blue source by them. Yep. Sheoldred's doing its thing. So we just know they have a Tinker in hand. Okay. We get a game number 3, thankfully. Man, I kind of feel like I'm not really drawing a lot of cantrips when I should have a good amount of cantrips. Because I have, what, the 2 Street Rates, 3 Preordains, a Ponder, Brainstorm, and Ancestral Probe. I mean, I guess it's fine. We'll just run it back. Let's hope that they don't have another double force hand. Like, seeing that is, like, super interesting. I'll keep this, for sure. Try to get a Necro on play. I've got a mental misstep for any, like, Soul Ring shenanigans. But yeah, they usually just try to have very explosive starts. Okay, they did mull. I'm surprised it didn't really show right away. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. A Fluster's nice. I'll play my fetch land. And I'll pass the turn. We are looking to survive and not die to whatever construct is coming. If they do just try to muscle me with constructs, white. Okay. The One Ring. I'm going to force... Pitch just messed up. We'll fluster. Same targets on their Force of Will. And then I'll vamp for Black Lotus, Necro. This matchup's actually pretty good for us. Vamp, Black Lotus. Yep. I'll do 6, 7 cards. We'll see. 1. Okay, there's 1. 2. 6 and 7. We've got 1 card in hand. Let's move towards our end step. See what we get. I think I have to click OK for all of these. There's a Doomsday, Preordained, Dark Ritual, Duress, Fluster, Gush. Okay, so we have Force, Pitch, Ponder, Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Fluster, Gush. So we can just get rid of this Preordain. Or, yeah, we just get rid of the Duress. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Exiles. And now it's their turn. Let's see what they can get with 1 mana and 2 cards. Really nothing much. I mean, they could have a Tinker, which I'm just going to straight up Fluster. Yeah, I think Tinker is like the last card in their hand that they could have. So they'd have to get Sapphire here and Tinker. And then I just Flusterstorm the Tinker and I win. Pretty much how it's going to go. I'm trying to think what else they could have. Well, maybe they're trying to think of what they get. They could get a Pithy Needle to name like Street Wraith. Nope, they grab Soul Ring. Soul Ring with 3 mana. And some life. Yeah, I'm not letting that resolve. Boom. Boom. We'll get rid of the Preordain. And we still have Flusterstorm backup. Like, they don't have anything, so we just win the game. Sweet. I love Magic the Gathering. Black, Dark Ritual, Doomsday. I have my Break Trap covered. So it's going to be your generic pile of Ancestral, Thassa's Oracle, Pact and Negation, this Black Lotus. And so we gush, we float a blue, and then we play our land for turn. And the blue is going to get us Ancestral plus Pact. We Ancestral into Thassa's Oracle, Black Lotus. I don't know. Another Force of Will because we have an extra blue card in our hand? Sure. So it's Ancestral, Lotus, Force, Force, Oracle. Hit done. Nope. I do like an opponent that is willing to play it out in case I mess up, because you can always mess up. So it's going to be Force, Oracle, Lotus, Pact, Ancestral. I'm going to float a blue. I'm going to gush. Returning these 2 to my hand. Play our land for turn. I'm going to Ancestral, target myself. And they should concede. Good games. Welcome to round number 4. I'm on the draw, and I'm versus Justin Gennari. I am actually level 1. Huh. I am going to mulligan this hand because it really does nothing. I'm going to keep this hand, and I'm going to bottom the Street Wraith. We'll keep bottom. Done. Got a pretty strong hand here. Let's see what they're playing. They play a lot of decks. A lot of decks. I don't want them to see my hand. I'm fine with this. Sure. Soul Ring, that's fine. Top, that's fine. Yep. Maybe I should have just shown them my hand, but we'll see. I think no matter what, I'm just going to slam, try to resolve Dooms or Ancestral next turn. But yeah, so far, no information. They're just running a top. It could be... They've been on a big PO kick recently, but it was a Lurrus-based PO deck. So, have some interesting spells that they want to deal with. We'll see. But yeah, Justin makes a lot of vintage content. You probably know about him. And he takes a lot of different donation decks or tries out a lot of new cards. So there's no guarantee that he's actually on a blue deck. So I'm playing a lot of artifact-based decks as well, like your aggro shops. So let's see what he's doing here today. Super in the tank there. Oh, no land drop. Okay. Interesting. What could you have during my upkeep? Probably nothing. I'm not going to check to see if he's streaming, but if he's streaming, he might be talking to his chat. So let us see, let us see. Okay. Oh. I'm going to recall myself. What you got? I'm going to force pitch this Preordain. Okay, we've got a pretty strong hand for next turn. Granted, we don't have any protection right now, but we'll see what he's got to deal with, what he's going to follow up this turn with. What did he pitch with his force? Sure. What is this? Okay, you can have a one ring. That's fine. Yep. Draw a card. So it's just like a blue draw spell with squad. I'm hoping for a cantrip next turn, just so that I can try to get in and win the game. Any draw spell. That's a very good draw spell. Okay. Let's go Underground Sea. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. He's got nothing. Black Lotus. Okay, because we have a blue mana open, we can put Pact into the pile under the Ancestral Recall. Black Lotus, Pact, Thassa's Oracle. We don't want him to see Misdirection, and I want my Ancestral Recall. So yeah, Black Lotus, Misdirection, Pact, Thassa's Ancestral Recall. So we'll keep this, and so we tap blue, gush into Ancestral, and Pact. Ancestral into Lotus Misdirection Thassa's Oracle. That seems fine. Hit done. Ancestral Oracle, yep, done. Okay. So it's going to be Misdirection, Thassa's Oracle, Black Lotus, Pact, Recall, tap for blue. Let's Gush, returning my islands. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's go to sideboarding. Some kind of artifact-based combo deck. So it's going to be, well, some kind of artifact deck. So we're going to do Steel Sabotages. We're going to do this Force of Negation. I don't know what those creatures were. I think until, like, they scare me, I'll do something. But he's running blue cards, so he's got Force. He probably has Tinker. He's probably a Saga-based deck. So anytime, like, there's Tinkers and Sagas, maybe Oppo Agent is pretty good. We can always check this sideboard guide where we're just like looking at shops. So it looks like I cut out the Misdirections and the Flusterstorms, which is fine. Even though they are on Force of Wills. So yeah, I think that is our goal. We're going to cut these Flusters. And we're going to cut the Misdirection. Doesn't seem that good. Maybe we're supposed to leave in a Fluster and cut a Mystical Tutor. That might not be terrible. I just don't really like having the slow tutors in a lot of the times. I kind of want to keep my speed. Sure, we'll just actually cut out this. Do this 5. Bring these in and submit. Okay. This hand does nothing. We're going to mulligan. It's kind of close to what we had before as our opener. This hand is very good. I think I bottom the Time Walk. Okay. See what he's got. I've got Force for any like aggressive plays. Sure, you can see my hand this time. He's got a UC, he's got a Soul Ring. Soul Ring's fine. Yep. I'm just gonna duress him. Yeah, you can lower and rebuild. He put in another UC to his hand. Sacrifice an artifact if you don't. I think we just get rid of the Force of Will. And we just try to fight his other stuff next turn. Yeah, if we look at his hand. Cool. There's an Underground Sea. There's the One Ring we know about. I'm just gonna force. Yep. Cool beans, cool beans. Let's see what we can do next turn. Just looking for more mana at this point. There's some mana. It's preordained. So what, next turn he's gonna transmute artifact. Can that actually? Okay. We can do some stuff. No, we can't. So what? We can just put on top, land, and pass. And what if he transmutes artifacts? We can like, what would he get? Sacrifice an artifact, search your library for a card, but he has to pay the difference. So he could probably pay the difference for like a Trinisphere, right? Which might be fine, because I could just Street Wraith into a I could Street Wraith into vamp for a land, if that's the case. If that's what I'm predicting. That's if he's running Trinisphere. It's got 4 cards. I'm pretty sure I know everything. Like, I just don't know the other card. Maybe it's 2 cards I don't know about. Are we getting tinkered? What is this? Squad. Okay. That's fine. Yep, he can draw a card. Maybe he drew a blue card. Lorraine revealed. Okay. Yep. No, let's not pay 2 life. Okay. Land? Ritual? Oh, that's a brainstorm. Let's see what we get. We potentially just have the win here. We'll be locked out if we don't, but hey, it happens, right? I know he has that and 2 other cards, but let's see what he's got. Sure, that's fine. Okay, now we're in some trouble here because we're locked under a brainstorm for an additional turn. We'll cycle the Street Wraith to get out of it, but it does seem to be a little bad. He has the Mindbreak Traps. We're going to put Flusterstorms back in. He is a much more blue-based deck. Yep. It's a Transmute Artifact. He can pay for the Balls of Citadel. I think we just lose now. Let's concede. Okay. Let's get these Flusterstorms back in. And I guess he's just more of a Tinker deck. So I think the Steel, like, we can still leave in some Steel Sabotage. I think we'll cut 1 Steel Sabotage. We'll cut a Street Wraith. And we'll do something like this. I still like the Steel Sabotages. It seems to, like, hurt his early game plan. Let's submit the deck. And now we're on the play. Okay, so he's got traps. Got to play around Mindbreak Trap. I don't hate this hand. I'm gonna keep it. Let's keep. Like, we can always demonic consultation for a Doomsday and try to win that way. But we're gonna preordain off. We're gonna fetch preordain to thin and look. See if he has a 7 he wants to keep. Okay. But yeah, he seems to be some kind of tinker, Grixis tinker based strategy. Hmm. And we're going to do our best to play around Mindberry Trap. Can't always be the easiest thing to do. Okay. He mulled to 6. Underground Sea. Let's preordain. Put on the bottom of your library. Put on top. We'll cast this. We'll pass the turn. Okay. Let's see what he's got. Pretty much we're going to just try to daze and like counter as much stuff as we can to try to fuel this dig through time. I think that's the best strategy that we have here. I just don't want him casting spells. Okay. Well, the crypt would have been better. We'll see. Workshop. Am I going to get 1 ringed? I'm going to get 1 ringed, I think. What is this? Add 2 mana, draw 2 cards, then discard a card? Okay, so he has to dump mana into it to do that. Okay. So he's got 3 mana. Yep, Demonic Tutor it is. I'm just gonna try to mental miss up this Ancestral Recall. Yep. Okay, well that was his game plan. At least for that turn. But still, that was quite scary. We have 4 cards in our yard. So we can't really... Well, I guess we could dig if we have to. I'd crack Lotus, so we'd have a total of 4 mana, and I could eat all 4 cards in my yard. One, two, three, 4. This thing costs 8. That's 4. So what I need to dig. Take this Ancestral and I'll take this Force of Will. Any order. Their turn. They can't activate the relic yet, so that's good. They need 3 to draw and discard. What do they have? 5 mana. I have to pitch recall, I have to pitch recall. That's just the name of the game. The One Ring. He can have a One Ring. It sucks, but he can have a One Ring. Yep. Another thing? Sure. So he's just got infinite mana over there, it feels like. Yep, he's got the misstep. Okay, it's his turn. What do I need to do here to try to win this? Because I can Demonic Consultation for a Dark Ritual next turn. Or at the end of turn, I can Demonic Consultation for Dark Ritual and hope. But he's going to start, like, going through his deck right now. Yep, there's a Vault. A Cast Lore Interfield, sure. A bunch of mana. Another One Ring. Yep. Yep. A Saga. Okay. Dark Ritual. What did we lose? Did we lose any Thassa's Oracles? We lost a Thassa's Oracle. Okay. You got a counter spell for Necro. Trying to play around Mindbreak Trap here. I played around the Mindbreak Trap successfully. We'll do 7, 8 cards. I think I gotta do like 8 cards. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do 9. Do 9 cards. Okay. Hit okay. Yep. Okay, there's a Ritual, land, Cycler, Duress, Op Agent. Op Agent isn't terrible. If he tries to search something out, I can Opposition Agent. We are looking for payoff. There's counter magic. Okay, so we hit a lot of mana. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't really need all this mana. Well, we're going to get rid of the Street Wraith. The Street Wraith is just 2 life that we don't want. I have hard cast negation and force backup. Yep. Yep, that's good. See what he does. Yeah, Lotus is fine. Can't really do anything about that. Sapphire's fine. I don't even know what I would grab. I don't have to cast anything. I can just find an artifact. He's hard casting my break trap. Sheesh, this is not really what I want to be dealing with, right? We just might need this Preordain. I think we just have to do it like this. Do you have another hard cast trap that you want to do? I don't know what the rest of his hand is. It could be lands. He's drawn a lot of cards. Maybe I was just not supposed to force a negation of the Mind-Break Trap. I'm supposed to do it on... Yeah, but I want this body in play in case I can't do anything for a turn. Okay, the opposition resolves. Transmute artifact resolves. What? I can get something from his deck? I guess I'd take his jet. Alright. Is that a thing I can do? He sacrificed his crypt, so I'd have to pay for the rest of it, right? So I think I just have to grab his Mox Jet. Okay. Oh. Okay. Stress him. Take the Mind-Break Trap. It's Preordain. Bottom. Cast. So if we Dark Ritual Doomsday here, we lose we lose an extra life, basically is what I'm saying, right? Because it rounds down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay one for the Necro, Dark Ritual Doomsday, so we'll get an extra card into our pile, and then I'm going to draw 2 cards to go to 1. He can't search out anything. Like he can't search out the Manifold Key to give his opposition or his thing unblockable because of opposition agent. And then I'm going to just duress Ancestral Recall, try to win. That's the only thing that I can do here. These are my only options. So it's going to be this Thassa's Oracle. This duress. Did I lose my ancestral recall at all? Where is it? There's the ancestral recall. And what? Fluster. Force. We never paid the 1. Crap. So we are down a card. We're down a card. Man, maybe we don't do fluster. We're down a card. Oh, no, we're not down a card. We're not down a card. Because we'll go into my upkeep and I'll ancestral recall into fluster duress. Or we'll ancestral into fluster Thassa, force a negation, I guess. Or maybe we just do, crap, this is hard. We can't do Pact, because Pact we just can't pay for and we die. So what? We can do Duress, Recall, Thassa. We know those. Man, I wish I had more blue stuff. Okay, what if we just don't do the Duress? And we do like remove the Duress, and we do like Force Fluster? We take 2 cards, which will be... Okay. So it doesn't really matter, these orders, right? Because as long as Ancestral's on top, we'll be fine. Okay. And in his upkeep, I Ancestral targeting myself. Sure, that's perfectly fine. I messed up. I should have did that at the end step. Because now he can draw 3 cards. That's bad. Yeah, I messed up there. Okay. I might just lose because of that. Okay, we did not. Okay, but that was bad. That was very bad. Okay, his One Ring thing does the thing. Yup. We hit OK. Mana Vault does its thing. Very nervous. I'm a very nervous player when I'm playing against like very good players. Storm is 1. He has access to a lot of mana. Okay. Let us see, let us see. I'm just going to take his Manifold Key. 1000%. Let's see what happens here. Very intense game. Okay, he's going to make a construct. Yep. He then searches. I'm going to take the Manifold Key. I'm getting rid of all of his outs that he possibly could have. He goes to combat. I block with Opposition Agent. Yep. Hopefully that wasn't disrespectful, me taking his Manifold Key, but like, hey, that is one of his outs. We can hide this. We don't need that. Sure, he's going to go to combat. So that's his attack. I would like to declare this blocker. Hit OK. And we're going to hit OK again. Sorry. Just want to make sure that I don't lose this game. We're just going to slam the Thassa's Oracle and pray that it does the trick. I'm kind of okay with him like trying to filter his mana around right now. Bolus's Citadel. Well, we're gonna cast this and remove it. A Flusterstorm and pray. Okay, will my Oracle resolve? That is the big question here. I sure hope it does. Let's see. We kept a Flusterstorm. I can't recall if my other Force of Negation, I'm pretty sure, got pitched to the Force of Will. So we were only working with 1. Maybe we make it the Pact, if we had the Pact. But no, I think we needed the Flusterstorm plus Force of Negation backup to not lose. Is there another play that you have here with this much mana? But yeah, technically we would have one more card here if we did the Necro thing that I said about going to 6, going to 3. Yeah, so we are down a card. Who knows what that card could have been? It could have been a fetch land that could not have fetched for anything, but it's still something that like you're supposed to do to always be up a card. It could have been the patent negation. So these are just always little things to look around and at, but we're gonna slam Thassa's Oracle and pray. I think he doesn't have anything. I think if he had something, he would have snap casted it, or he's just gonna pass the turn and snap force my Thassa's Oracle. So I think he's in the tank looking for something to do. I think Time Vault's in his hand. I'm pretty sure when I searched his hand, he had a Time Vault. Or not that he had a Time Vault. Maybe he had a Time Vault. I think Opposition Agent maybe shows opponent's hands. Huh. One second. So that could be an option. But very, very, very good games. Either way, I've learned a lot. I thought I had a stop. Maybe I didn't have a stop in my end stuff to cast the Ancestral. That was the problem. Okay. So that's something that I should have done. Okay. Let's see what happens. He has something. What it is, I have no idea. That, or is this like the biggest argument in the world with this chat right now? Maybe he thinks I might have something because I could have hard cast the negation and I didn't. I do. I do have something. 'Tis a Flusterstorm. With a high enough storm that no matter what he casts, he can't pay for it because it'll be a fluster of 5, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, we're going towards the end step. Untap, upkeep. Chain on my Necropotence during my upkeep. Well played. Very well played. Okay, here we are for round number 5, and I am on the play. Looking fun. And let's do this. We have a Doomsday. This hand is good. I'll keep this. They haven't revealed a Lurrus. Let's see what to do, We can always vamp in our upkeep for an Ancestral or a Dark Ritual. Okay. Let's duress them. See what we're against today. He is mono red. Okay. Well, this is kind of scary for us. Well, we're going to take the Shatter Skull Smashing. And we're probably going to get strip-minded. Let's see what happens. I was going to do like mountain, like strip mine me. There's a mountain. Yep. So he's probably a deck full of Pyroblasts. Okay, we're gonna vamp. Oh, man. Next turn he's gonna Magus of the Moon me? Non-basic lands are mountains. I think I can just win though, right? Because I can do this vamp. I can do this vamp for a Lotus into a pile that's what? 2 cyclers? Or yeah, I can vamp into like, oh man, because I need 2 cards to go off. Well, it depends. If I go Island and he goes Brainstorm, I can do that. We'll see what he decides to do. If he decides to go not cast the thing, I just win the next turn. Okay. Yeah, let's grab this Black Lotus. Okay. So our idea is we can crack this Black Lotus, cast Doomsday, and do a pile of Brainstorm, Street Wraith, or no. Well, if we crack this for blue, we're just trying to like fade a turn. So I think what we do is we do crack this for the basic island because it's probably going to bait out a turn of no Magus. Black Doomsday. Okay. So what is our pile? We need this Lotus. We need this Thassa's Oracle. Maybe we need Sapphire, Street Wraith, Ancestral. So what? We draw for turn. If they strip mine us and don't like Magus us, right? We can Ancestral into Lotus, Sapphire. So what? It's Ancestral into Lotus, Sapphire, Oracle. Ancestral into Lotus, Sapphire, Oracle. No, you've put Oracle third. So what is this pile? We don't really need the Street Wraith, right? Because we have covered with counter magic. So let's remove the Street Wraith. I'm down for a Force of Will. Okay, so we draw for turn. It's going to be Recall into Lotus, Sapphire, or Lotus, Oracle, Force. And Sapphire is our last card. In case something bad happens. Hit. Done. So it's going to be Sapphire. It's going to be Force. It's then going to be Thassa's Oracle, Black Lotus, Ancestral. And we pass the turn. We have this island here as a bait for their strip mine. We force any fast mana that's coming our way. See what they do. There's the Ancient Tomb. There's the Magus, so that is perfectly fine. Okay. It's our turn. That's now a mountain. We draw for turn. I'm going to recall myself. I'm going to cast this Lotus. Crack Lotus for blue. Okay, good games. Now let's go to sideboard. I think I might actually have something in the sideboard guide. Let me check. It would be... Maybe I don't. What it would be is like what you would kind of do versus the budget decks at Eternal Weekend. The budget decks are usually mono red. And because of that, what we would need is... We kind of just want to stop some fast mana plays. I don't think we can really... We can have Dismember. Dismember is really good to try to kill their Magus of the Moon, but pretty much we just need to look for a hand with Force of Will. We can't let them resolve stuff. Necro might be pretty bad here. I'm down to cut Street Wraith. There should be... Misdirection is not needed here, if I can find it. And then... I still like the Force Negations. I just want to counter their fast mana. Duress seemed okay there. I think in the future it's probably pretty bad. But for now, we'll leave it in. Is there any mental misstep for Red Blast effects? Maybe it's just this Mystical Tutor. Okay. Let's submit the deck. Okay. This hand isn't bad. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to hope that they're not explosive. We'll see what happens. Okay, they're looking to be a wee bit explosive. We're just going to get Magist. Sure. We can draw stuff, like a Dismember. We could draw a Lotus. Drew the Jet. That's pretty good. We might just kill them next turn. Yeah, we can kill them next turn. As long as, like, they're just not going to do anything. Shatter Skull. Yep. Sometimes you just draw the Jet. Good thing we do not concede. Sometimes we probably should. Let's vamp. We need Dismember, which is this card right here. Yep. Upkeep, we draw. I'm going to Dismember that. And we pay the 1 black. Yep. Stuff is now turned on. Black, blue, Demonic Tutor. Let's get a Black Lotus. Let's cast this Lotus. So what? We're not playing around Trap. We're not playing around Red Blast. Let's see what happens. If we get trapped, we get trapped. We did not get trapped. Lotus, Ancestral. Thassa's Oracle. Pact. Maybe it's like Island Sapphire. Who knows? What if it's just not packed? And what if it's like this? This hand looks like trash. Or this pile looks like trash. So what, we're going to gush into Ancestral Lotus, into Thassa's Oracle, and just hope that we just don't die? But I guess the plan is, if we do die, if it does get countered, what is our plan? And I think our plan is the Sapphire. Done. We hit done. Sure. I mean, we're just not playing around anything here, right? No, because we can double Oracle. Oh, well, we can't. Okay, we made a bad pile. We just made a bad pile. It happens. I think I was trying to play around too much here. Did we play around? Yeah, okay, we did play around the Pyroblast. That was good. So we draw into the Recall next turn? Not bad. Blood Moon's fine. No, we draw into the Lotus next turn. Oh no. No, we are just wrong about so many things. Okay. Let's see if they've got another blast effect. We are giving them a lot of time. Yep. Is this Caves of the Chaos event? No. Oh, wait. Well, let's see. If my last two cards are... It should be Thassa's Oracle, Sapphire, Land. We have Days back up. We're not the worst gamers in the world. Cast. Well, wait, can we have play? Yeah, no matter what we did, we wouldn't be able to play around Trap. But we did play around the Red Blast, which we will cast on that with Days. Okay, nice, we did well. Welcome to the post-league report. We went 4-1. We played against 3 different types of PO lists. We played against a Tinker Transmute Artifact style deck, and we played against Mono Red. Pretty much the big MVP of this league was Sheoldred. I think that I should have brought her in more. She probably would have done very well versus Justin's One Ring style deck. It's just really powerful. It won us a lot of games. Definitely our best backup plan, and our best like sideboard pivot is Sheoldred the Apocalypse. So amazing card. Probably the best black creature that we have had recently printed. There's really not much to talk about for like round number 1. We got a easy turn 1 win, game 1 with Flusterstorm backup with Demonic Consultation plus Thassa's Oracle. Game 2, we sideboarded incorrectly because we didn't really get to see much of their deck besides Lurrus and an Underground Sea. And then game 3, Sheoldred won us the game. Then round number 2, we played against Esper PO. We kind of have been falling, or maybe I have been falling into this trap where I see Demonic Consultation plus Thassa and like 1 or land or 2 lands, and I'm like, snap keep. and usually I'm just not finding that third land. So maybe I need to really reconsider some of these hands. There was counter magic there, and we had a really solid game one. If they didn't have the Pithing Needle on Street Wraith, I could have made a pile that killed that turn. But because of that, I made a really loose pile with Force of Negation and Brainstorm, plus like a fetch land and an island. Like, you can't do this. If you do something like this, you can never like. If they try to counter the Brainstorm and you fetch, you'll run out of cards in your deck. So that's just bad. It should have been like maybe a preordained Consider or Gitaxian Probe to just try to get through this pile as fast as possible. That did not happen, and we ended up losing game one. Game two, we won with a Necropotence that we were going to try to bait them with, and it resolved, so we just made an impossible 7 that they can't beat. And then game number 3, we won with Sheoldred the Apocalypse. It just outmuscled their Monastery Mentor. Round 3, we played against Jewel Shops. This is a fairly good matchup for Doomsday. They're kind of like a Belcher deck, where they're very all-in, but they are a Belcher deck with a real mana base. So they are a little bit more resilient these days, especially with the printing of One Ring and Coveted Jewel. They do have ways to draw themselves back into the game. Game 1, they just had the counter magic for our second Doomsday attempt. And then game 2, we kept that sketchy hand of trying to Demonic Consultation line. And in the end, we had to pitch both of our oracles to Force of Wills. So we just landed Sheoldred and she won us the game. And then game 3, we had the standard we're just going to play the counter game versus the fragile deck. And then resolve like a card like Necro, make a very strong hand and win the game. So we counter their stuff, we resolve Necro, and we have like the perfect setup to win. We get to do the standard Doomsday pile. Standard Doomsday pile is where you are able to Doomsday and then either have Gush in hand or Ancestral Recall. So if we grab the Gush, so in this case we had Gush, so we Dark Ritual, Doomsday, we'll have a blue mana floating, we'll return these cards. With Gush, we'll draw 2 cards. We will draw, because we have a blue mana floating, we can do like Ancestral and like a Flusterstorm or Ancestral plus Pact. And then we can Ancestral, and then we'll draw our Thassa's Oracle, our Lotus, and then X, which would either be Misdirection, Force of Will, Flusterstorm, Mental Misstep, really whatever you want. And we also get a land draw for turn. But if we like look, our hand is stacked. We have like Flusterstorm, we have a Preordained, we have Force, we have Ponder, we have so much stuff to pitch. It's just insane. So that is the standard Doomsday pile, is either Ancestral or Gush after resolving your Dark Ritual Doomsday. It's the best way to just like fill your hand with as much counter magic as possible. And it's just pretty resilient. I'll make some guides for like tips and tricks for like how to set up your pile if you think that your opponent is going to try to kill you with like things like, say, if someone tries to Ancestral Recall me in response, like hypothetically, if I go Gush and then Ancestral and my opponent recalls me in response, you'll let their recall resolve, you'll draw, and you'll just pack your own recall or force your own recall. I think like making sure like you have counters in your pile so that you can counter your own spells if needed is very key. But another good win for Sheoldred in game number 2. So she's got us 3 wins so far. Round number 4, I was versus Justin Gennari. I'm actually level 1. He was on a Workshop Tinker Grixis 40k deck that was also doing Transmute Artifact Ursa Saga shenanigans. Game 1, I mental misstepped his Gitaxian Probe, and he ended up dropping Soul Ring Sensei's Top. I think sometimes you should just misstep what you can. There was no guarantee he was going to follow up like that, and hiding the information from him is probably pretty key. We still ended up winning with a nice Doomsday line. All I kind of saw was from him was Force of Will and this like new creature plus a workshop. So I think I sideboarded a little incorrectly. I didn't really see any like real artifacts that I kind of cared about. So I think the Seal Sabotages weren't the best, and maybe Sheoldred was, because it looks like he's just trying to draw a bunch of cards with this creature. Plus, I see like a One Ring game 2. Game number 2, our hand just didn't really pan out, and we ended up losing. Game number 3, that's the big game. Super fun, very back and forth. We end up sticking a Necro, playing around his Mindbreak trap. Because after getting trapped game 1, or game 2, you're just gonna play around it like crazy. And we have a really solid hand. Sadly, we didn't hit like a Doomsday, but we got like counters and stuff, and we can go again. So he ends up going for a Transmute Artifact, and I flash in the Oppo, and that just felt amazing. And we took his Jet. If Sapphire wasn't here, we'd definitely take the Sapphire. But you take what you can get. And then we just luck sacked with like our Preordain into finding a Doomsday and going off. We can't win that turn, but this is where we mess up, right? We are at 7 health and we're going for Doomsday. The way that Doomsday works is that you lose half your life rounded up. So I would lose 4 life here and I'd go to 3. Well, if I just pay 1 life with Necropotence, I'm at 6. I lose half my life. I'm still at 3. So that's 1 extra card that we're just missing here. Next, while Necro's resolving, I need to, during my end step, I need to Ancestral in response as you draw your first card with Necro, so that I'm not letting him untap. I let him untap, and I Ancestral. In paper, I know how to do this. On Magic Online, I didn't really understand like the end step like lock that I put, and didn't respond to the trigger. I thought I was still responding to like a different trigger of like you exiling cards, so that's on me. I now know in the future what to do. But we did let him untap, and then I recalled in his upkeep, and he got to draw cards with the One Ring, and I could have just straight up lost there. He could have drawn a counterspell, and it was over. I do think his decision making in the end was correct, obviously because he won, but he ended up winning because he Chain of Vapored my Necropotence during my upkeep. If he did it during his turn with his floating extra blue mana, the storm would have been high enough where he couldn't pay with it with Flusterstorm and I win. So he was thinking about either playing around Flusterstorm or Force of Negation. He played around it correctly, predicting I had Fluster, and I ended up losing. Hey, maybe this is where the Pact and Negation should have came in. I didn't do Pact and Negation because I wanted to have double counter backup on his turn. Flusterstorm, Force of Negation, and Flusterstorm is what I had going off for his turn. We were missing a card, so there could be the Pact and Negation here. There could have been a Seal Sabotage here as well. There's so many other cards that we could have potentially drawn if we just drew that 1 extra card. But we didn't, and we end up losing. Still really good games. Played against a really good opponent. Learned a lot. So in the future, we'll just take it a little bit slower. Make sure that we actually read our triggers on MTGO. And should be good to go. Round number 5, I was versus a Blood Moon Mono Red deck, kind of like the budget decks that you will see at Eternal Weekend. There's like 3 budget decks that you should see at Eternal Weekend, which are your Mono Red Moon Stompy decks, your Mono Black decks, like your Helmline decks, and then like Green Black Depths is usually kind of popular. They don't really require power, and they're pretty explosive decks in general. Game 1, I make a really good pile. that plays around my opponent having to make the decision whether to strip mine me or blood moon me, or Magus of the Moon me. And I predict that they're going to Magus of the Moon me, but either way, it's covered by all of that because I fetched out the island. I Doomsday. I know what's in their hand, and depending on, I have force for any kind of fast mana, and I just make a really standard pile of like recall and just automatically win the game. I don't really care about the Magus. Game 2, I don't know if I'm supposed to keep this hand game 2. I don't have anything to counter his speed, but I had like virtually a turn 2 hand if he didn't like do anything with Daze backup. In the end, I think that this is probably a mulligan knowing what I'm verse. But either way, I really luck sack, draw the jet, and am able to dismember. I do think that another problem that I did was I sideboarded out my Mystical Tutor. The best card that I have in this matchup is Dismember, and sideboarding out Mystical Tutor versus like the Magus of the Moon deck is really bad because I need to find this Dismember. So in the future, I won't be boarding out Mystical Tutor, and I'll actually be updating my sideboard guide in general to have these type of decks on there. I did make a very bad pile, though, when I went off. Even though like the pile I created did end up working out, I think I could have made a much better pile. Or, not even that. I think all this would have been avoided if I didn't fetch this Underground Sea. I never needed to fetch this Underground Sea. I should have fetched a basic island. So if we put all this back, and we grab the island, let's see the pile that we ended up creating here. I don't believe this is the pile. Okay, this is the pile we did. Black Lotus, Sapphire, Island, Thassa's Oracle, Ancestral Recall. So what I'm passing the turn, or no, I'm going to Gush, hopefully baiting out a Red Blast effect. Because they have 3 cards in hand, or a Mindbreak Trap, but they would have Mindbreak Trap the Doomsday. If they don't do anything, I just win the game here. So we do Gush, they end up Pyroblasting. But if we go to here, if we Gush, we return Island, Underground Sea, and now our lands are protected versus their Strip Mine and Wasteland effects. So we just pass the turn, and we draw, and we can Ancestral Recall. If it resolves, we're golden and probably going to win. But from looking at this game, I think we can make a better pile here because we now have the island. So I think we'd still do Gush Ancestral. But we can do like Thassa's Oracle, Sapphire Black Lotus. Let's see how that works out. So Thassa's Oracle, Sapphire, Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall. And in our hand, we'll have this, and we have the one of Daze, and we have a Jet in play. So we went for the Gush, our Gush got countered, but now these are in our hand. We pass the turn, we draw Ancestral, we go Island, Ancestral, because they're going to follow up the turn with a Blood Moon effect, and if Ancestral resolves, we end up drawing Thassa's Oracle, Black Lotus into Thassa's Oracle. So our pile should look like this. And then we're going to be able to Lotus into Oracle. If it gets countered, it gets countered, and then we follow up with another Oracle. Or we could even just put the Sapphire on the bottom. And if Ancestral resolves... No, because we still need the double blue. But I do think setting up a double Oracle pile when they have no threats is the better play than whatever I decided to create. So in the future, I just need to slow down and think of piles like that. But I did correctly call that they had the Red Blast effect, and I always had Daze backup if needed. And the Daze backup, like, I ended up winning this game by dazing their blast effect. So, even though we won, still kind of sloppy. But in the end, this league's MVP goes to Sheoldred. Bug Mother was the best. I'll probably board that in against any deck I see wandering in now. So we'll update the sideboard guide. And thank you again all for watching and all the support. And I'll have some more videos out for you. Take care.